like and subscribe. I like saying this, I don't know why. So I've just had my car towed away because it broke down about a week and a half ago, and there's something wrong with the ignition. It just won't start. So I've booked it in the garage, paid somebody to come and take it away. To bring it here originally, it cost me 70 quid. This time 55. Expensive business, isn't it? It's because I don't maintain the vehicles. Got to keep. I'm vowing to keep it clean and tidy going forward. Vacuuming it once a month or something. But I looked at it and it's filthy, filthy dirty inside and out. And I thought, Mark, you're a disgrace. I said, well, I don't have time. It's not that I don't have time. It's that I didn't even think about it. So I'm going to have to get on top of it because it could be a nice shiny car. But anyway, I went to a party yesterday. It was a festival that we celebrate, and a festival called Purim. And it's you get these gifts, cakes and biscuits and sweets and things, you know. And I've got such a terrible sweet tooth, and I really ought to be staying off the sugar because I'm pre-diabetic. My mother was a diabetic. She used to inject herself, and but you know, there's a big chuzzer, there's a big pig inside me. Can't help it. Ate the lot. I started last night and I carried on this morning. I ate a whole cake, big chocolate cake, and I'm feeling hyper. I feel like I've just taken a load of cocaine. I feel, you know what I mean, I'm buzzing. But it's a horrible state to be in because I know what's going to happen. Like in about 20 minutes, I'm going to crash. I don't know why I do it. Anyway, I've just watched Reseller. I find it very inspiring watching him. You know, he buys his records. He got a handful of LPs out today. You know, songs that I would love to sit down and listen to myself, but I just don't have the time. I think to myself, I just go and listen to them on YouTube anyway. But, you know, if you wanted to handle the vinyl and get into the zone of actually playing it on the record player and listening to the crackle as it starts and the, you know, the song go through a single speaker, how it used to be, you know, when you were a kid. Great discovery for young people today, you know. I remember it from when I was a kid. I can remember my mom going out on a Saturday and coming back with a load of shopping, and she used to get these Top of the Pops songs, you know, what was ever in the Top of the Pops that week or that month, and you'd have like 30 or 40 songs on it, and she'd play it loud as she was cleaning the house and everything, you know what I mean? It was like, how wonderful it was. Lovely. My boy lollipop, she was dancing to it as she was vacuuming and that kind of thing. I was lying on the floor on my belly, you know, drawing or something, and she pushing the vacuum against my legs. Get out of the way! I couldn't hear her. And but what's the most inspiring thing about it is watching him pay £1 or £2 for an LP and getting £99 for it. That's what's inspiring. Never mind all the other nonsense. It's about the money. So he's going to the boots, the car boots, and as most of you might know, or maybe though you don't realise, I'm in Birmingham myself. I've had a couple of conversations with John from time to time. Great guy. He does a bit of taxi driving on the side, and I was thinking of doing it myself. Just to support my income from eBay, you know, you have these dips from time to time and that kind of thing. So I've had a chance to have a chat with him. I think he knows who I am. I'm on the radar, but of course he doesn't know what I do, and we've never met face to face or anything. I know obviously more about him than he knows about me on account of the fact that he's got a more bigger public profile. You know, I've got no profile at all, and people think, who are you? Who are you? But I love it. I think I see these guys, you know, Nick, Andrea, a retro reseller, a few other people, John. You know, they're pioneers. But they're pioneers. You know, there's plenty of other people who have been doing it. I remember about 12 years ago when I sat in my bedroom when I first started, I wondered, you know, up and down the country, there's people like John and Nick and Andrew and me making a living from eBay 100% full time, you know. And I wondered, you know, we used to be a nation of shopkeepers, but now we're like a nation of eBayers or online sellers. And I wondered how many people might be doing it on my street at the time. And as the years unfolded, I saw there were people in my local neighbourhood, you know, and you get to discover them. You know, you see them at the post office, that kind of thing. And it's a lovely endeavour. It's a liberating endeavour. You know, you have your ups and downs with it. You have your wins and your losses. But it's you know, if you get to the point where you're unencumbered and you haven't got any major debt, no mortgage or anything like that, or you're in your end of years, you know, it's a lovely thing to do. And that car boot that he went to, I went to it once or twice actually, and I bought a few things. I've still got a couple of things upstairs from it, and I've had some successes. I bought this lovely little, what was it, Toy Story car, like a, you know, it was all electronic, lots of batteries in it. I think I paid about 3, 4, 5 quid for it, and eventually I put it on at 80 quid because I saw somebody else selling it at 80, but mine was in better condition, so I thought I'd get 80, but then I reduced it to 60, and then I got 40, I think. And it's just when it, you know, I think I held it for 18 months before it sold, but when it sells, it's just a lovely little win, you know. It's nice. But I've realised now this is the season, isn't it? Time to get out and go down the car boots. So I'm gonna have a dabble at it. I think I'm gonna get my stuff together once my car's back, and it's repaired. I shall go online and see exactly when that car boot is going again. Light mornings. I love the early morning. It's great. So I shall go down there and see what I can pick up. I feel uncomfortable videoing the pursuit of these car boot wins without getting their permission. John does it with no issues whatsoever. Maybe 1 or 2 people might inquire if you've got your camera on or something like that. I suppose you could just cover it up. I think Retro does it as well. Nick and Andrea do as well. I think Nick does. I don't think it's a liberty. I just think it's a little bit of I think it's a bit cheeky without getting their permission, but you can't really go up to people and say, look, I'm videoing you. Can I get your permission? You just do it, don't you? But anyway, I suppose you've just got to be sensitive. I think that's the protocol, really. I see that he has his camera on his chest and it's pitched downwards so it doesn't capture anybody's faces or anything like that. So that's probably the way to go. And I shall probably do the same. I've got a GoPro. I've got 2 GoPros, but I'm still like learning them. And I've got a chest brace. I want to get one of those adapters that I can put my mobile phone on the front. I feel as if the mobile phone's easier to use than the GoPro. There's less faffing around, if you know what I mean. But we shall see. Anyway, this is me just checking in again. Got nothing to say about what I'm selling. I've just been picking my orders from the weekend. It's been a bad weekend. One day last week, the sales just crashed. I think I was doing about 130. Yeah, every Monday for the last few weeks, I've managed to get in about 130 to 140 sales on the Monday, when I manifest on the Monday evening. That's sort of from Friday night till, I mean, I used to do over 200. I'm growing, I'm clawing back. But today, for sure, it's going to be lower than that. But let me just see. I'll give you an idea. Let me just have a quick look. Not that you're interested, but I'm going to tell you anyway, whether you like it or not. Hold on. I'm using click and drop, you see. I can't remember what I processed yesterday. Oh, I haven't dispatched it. I've got 51 there. I already sent out yesterday, I think maybe 60. So 60 plus 50, 110, 111. Might do it. If I get another 20 orders, 30 orders in, yeah, I'll be about the same. But what I'm really excited about is my shop. All the sales I'm getting from my shop are from I'm not doing any social media. I'm not doing any advertising. It's all coming from Google. And I've got to understand exactly what it is that prompts the Google visits. But I think it's got all to do with the SEO thing. I don't know. There's some things that I've done right, or I'm using the E8N numbers, you know, the Gitty numbers or whatever they call them, all those numbers, where they're available, I'm putting them in. I think that might be helping. But once I've sorted out this environment here, I'm going to get stuck into 100% promoting my shop. My objective is to get more sales on my shop than I do on eBay. I still want to grow eBay, but I want my shop to be top dog, because it's clearly it's something that can't be taken away from you. eBay, they can just close your account. As we know, they can just close your account just like that. It's very vulnerable, very risky. The other thing is that, which I'm going to do a video on, because there's a piece of software that Shopify has not released recently. They've had it going for about 7 months, but I think they acquired a company that was basically created this software. But this software allows you to push your listings from Shopify onto eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. And there's no initial cost. But they make their money by taking 1% of your sales. I think that's a fair price. Well, you'll end up paying a lot for it, you know, but it's a great piece of software if it can basically do what it says it can do, which is to push onto all those 3 channels. If it can do that, I'm quite happy to pay 1% for that. Although the software that I currently use to push my listings onto eBay and Shopify only cost me £20 a month. And it does, you know, I'm 99% happy with it. The 1% I can live, you know, the 1% I'm not happy with, I can live with. But if I can still, for 1%, push my listings from Shopify onto Amazon and Etsy without affecting eBay, or rather without giving them a slice of the eBay sales that already exist, then I'm in for it. It's even better. That's a better one still. And last week I did a test. I had this product, created it on Inkfrog, I pushed it onto eBay and I pushed it onto Shopify. I already had it on Etsy, but they weren't connected. So I connected the listing on Shopify to Etsy. And I synchronized the listing all the way through, so it was exactly the same quantity and everything. But what I did, I reduced the quantity available in Etsy by 1, just to see if it would update Shopify and therefore Inkfrog and therefore eBay, and it didn't. Bit disappointed. But I left it for another couple of days with the intention of going back in to see if it had updated it. I just hadn't got around to doing it. But yesterday somebody bought 2 of them on eBay. So how it was, I had a 10 on eBay, 10 on Inkfrog, 10 on Shopify, and 9 on Etsy. Somebody came onto eBay and bought 2. It reduced eBay by 2, Inkfrog by 2, Shopify by 2, and Etsy down to 8, also by 2 from the original 10. Or rather, it didn't reduce it from 10 to 8, it reduced it from 9 to 8. In other words, it made available 8 available for sale on Etsy. So it did synchronize all the way through that chain. What I need to see is, if a sale happens on Etsy, does it update all the way through to eBay? If it does, it's brilliant. But I was talking to my father about it, and he said, well, why don't you just go and connect another listing and buy something, a cheaper listing, buy something from Etsy to see if it happens. And I thought, yeah, you're right. I was kind of getting to that way of thinking myself anyway. So that's what I'm going to do in the next day or so, and I shall do a video on it. However, what will be the best test is if it can deal with a multi-variation listing. So I'm going to find a multi-variation listing that I've got on eBay, Inkfrog, and Shopify, that they're perfectly fit, and that's already on Etsy. I'm going to connect them together and make them consistently the same, you know, synchronize them all the way through, the title, everything, the whole listing, to make sure it's all exactly 100% the same. And then I'm going to get, I won't be able to make the purchase on Etsy because you can't buy from your own listing, but I'll get my brother to go in and make a purchase. And if it works, I'll be so pleased with it, because it's the kind of software that I've been searching for years. If that happens, it'll be a game changer, because then I can basically get, maybe, I don't know what I've got here, but let's say I've got X pounds worth of inventory. If I can get that on Etsy, all of it, and the same on Amazon, amazing. So I'm quite excited. I shall check in and report back and let you know what I'm thinking about, what progress I'm making and what success I've had. The software, by the way, on Shopify is called Marketplace Connector. That's what they call it. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Check in later. Bye.